Hello, lovelies. So I'm going to try something a little bit different. I am doing our Gemini full moon report, but I'm going to be doing it in a little bit of a different way. Now, we won't be getting tarot today. I'm going to be using the Star Codes Astro Pocket Oracle. Now, I'm trying to really link this all into astrology and make it a little bit more grounded in what I do. I don't know if this is going to work. This is a trial, okay? So because it's a trial, just let me off if it's a bit hokey, I think is the best way to put it. A little bit hokey. Right, okay. Let's get asked two cards. No, the first thing I'm going to do is get one card. I'm going to do cards kind of interspersed through the report, and then we'll see how this works. I'm also going to be talking about things you could do with this Gemini full moon, supermoon, and we'll see what happens. So let's get one card, angels. Oh, the angels are giving me like all cards. One card. Oh, there we go. Oh, we've got Vesta with her. There you go. I'm actually going to read it up book. I don't know them that well. So you ready? Right, let's get it. The Vesta. I will hold it up. With her. What number is it? It's number 32, so it's 5. So there's a sense of transformation being brought in with regard to this full moon, supermoon in Gemini. And yeah, let's see what Vesta wants to tell us. I hope it's not too big a reading. I'm not going to read it all because I think there's tons. Right, okay, are you ready? Right. Vesta calls you to the hearth of fire to share yourself for the benefit of all, but still have enough energy left to live healthily and give again another day. The second largest and brightest asteroid between Jupiter and Mars was named after Vesta, oldest goddess of hearth, home, and the family, and the center of a strong community. The fire in her temple is never allowed to go out. Now, you've been asked to evaluate yourself here and your life. Each human task is to help reduce the total suffering on Earth and increase the total joy. I love that. I love that it's joy, right? Your joy and suffering matter so much, neither more nor less to anyone else's. Do not burn yourself up for another cause, nor withhold your warmth, but share what you have to offer. This isn't a situation where you need to take sides. Come back to the center, to the flame, to your heart, and your own core of values. Now, there is a bit of a challenge because you're warned to share yourself rather than sacrifice yourself. Your hard work is holding the situation together. And there's also a gift, right? So find the temple within, the place of quiet safety where you can tend the fire and carry the sacred temple with you always. Beautiful. Right. Are you ready for the report, the supermoon report for December 2025? So we have our Gemini full moon at 13 degrees and 3 minutes of Gemini. The full moon is actually square the lunar nodes, and we have a kite pattern too, which is a Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn kite pattern. Okay. So tonight's supermoon in Gemini arrives like a shimmer. Okay, it kind of lands into our laps in this kind of shimmering way. Yeah. And basically, it creates a doorway between what is possible and what isn't. Okay. Supermoons really do magnify everything. So everything that's going on gets magnified, including our conversations, our internal narratives, the pace of our minds, and everything that's going on beneath the noise. Okay. And in Gemini, the moon is asking you to explore by choosing sides. Also, not, I think it's not by choosing sides, isn't it? Is it choosing sides or by choosing sides? It says no, it actually asks you to explore by choosing sides and widening your perception, right? These are notes I made, and I don't know why I left them on here, but it's just easier to read, but then you're getting the click, so I'm sorry about that. Okay. This lunation activates the 13-degree point of Gemini, a degree of integration, right? So can you just bear with me a moment, my lovelies? I'm just going to do something. So yes, this lunation activates that 13 degrees of Gemini to create some kind of integration, okay? Where scattered insights finally braid together to create a mind that becomes a channel rather than a maze. And with the moon square, the lunar nodes, we stand at a turning point, not a crisis, a choice. Remember, this is Gemini's choice hero. A choice about the stories that we continue, the ones we retire, the ones that are calling our names into a new future. This moon brings in a tone of alchemy. It's got a gift of perception about it, Gemini, okay? And it's how we interpret, how we translate, how we weave meaning into it. Now, remember, Gemini is in the third dimensional, it's duality. It creates duality across the board, right? But in five dimensional, it's multiplicity. The understanding, the truth has many, many layers. And you can hold them all without actually fracturing. A full moon invites you to shift from thinking about your life to thinking about how you can be with your life. Does that make sense? So to listen, to let insight rise in its own time, and to step into an intelligence that forms when you are not forcing answers, because Gemini can make us force answers, and that's something we need to be aware of, right? So the kite pattern brings in a mind-opening, trailblazing, energetic vibration, okay? Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus form a rare kite, a shape that creates a channel for something that we can break through. Mercury in Scorpio trine Jupiter retrograde into Cancer brings in deep truths, which meet a kind of emotional honesty. What has been unspoken surfaces, not to confront you, but to liberate you. Get that? Right? Not to confront you, but to liberate you. Mercury in Scorpio trine Saturn in Pisces kind of softens that, brings in a new boundary, a new truth, new language for expressing what you feel. With Saturn, which is sextile Uranus, kind of get a shift, a structural shift. The old foundation cracks just enough for the light to enter. I want you to think about how you're being called to answer to the questions and the thoughts that you're having as you go into 2026. What is this Gemini full moon doing to you? It's the Gemini full moon for December. So it's a pulling into releasing something. Then we've got Uranus trine Pluto in Aquarius, where we've got some revolution meeting evolution, okay? A glimpse into who you're becoming. And finding a way of creating a life that matches you, this self, the person you're becoming, okay? Now, I want you to remember that kite pattern offers some kind of alignment after what has been pretty intense in your life. It steadies your mind, which gives you the capacity to allow your intuition to speak clearly to you, right? Okay. Because Gemini's opposite is Sagittarius, we get a sense of deep wisdom. With the sun in Sagittarius, the moon's brilliance is pretty mirrored by the solar fire of truth seeking, finding something. What emerges mentally, mind, Gemini, is guided by what feels meaningful, which is Sagittarius, okay? You're literally being asked, what is the story that you are choosing to live, and what could really be released with truth, with integrity, and with honesty, because that's really important right now, that you release with truth, you release with integrity, and you release with just the clarity as well. Clarity, okay? Now, before we go into transformation points, I want to do another card. Don't know how this is going to work. You tell me what you think about it when you finish watching it, and tell me in the comments what you think of my new style. I don't know if I'm going to go full with this. This is experimentation. So, Angels, one card for the next aspect. Oh, you're not going to believe the card I got. You are not going to believe it. Gemini. Can you crack it? Can you kick it? Can you believe it? Gemini has just come out. Am I going to read it, Angels? The Angels want me to read it because they're saying that I'm literally doing a moon report for Gemini. So there's no point me cracking on with what I want to say. Ready? With its symbol, a pair of twins, Gemini asks us to weave a web of connections and build networks with humor and all forms of communication. This mutable air sign is ruled by Mercury and is connected to the lungs, shoulders, hands, and the nerves. Gemini's purpose is to disperse ideas like milk thistle on spring winds right? Your actions, what you're being asked to do is words are the heart of the issue you are facing, and not just any words, but real dialogue. And this is what full moon, super moon is asking you to think of, right? If you feel tension in this situation, see what is blocking the lines of communication and open it, okay? Listen to the grapevine and cross-pollinate, gather and share information. Bits of truth will float through. Explore social media, sound bites, and any other ways to get the word out. However, assume anything you say will be repeated. Gemini scatters seeds. It's not concerned with privacy or individuality, and it's not necessarily loyal. So be careful with the energetic vibration that's floating around you at the moment. Now, there is a challenge in this situation, okay? It may be more complex than you think, so be willing to dig in. Gemini's energy can be shallow or oversimplified, or it encourages breadth rather than depth. So you are going to have to create depth consciously, okay? And the gift of Gemini, the supermoon, this card, it will open your mind to universal siblinghood. So it's being connected to the universe as a kin, right? We're all in this together. The soul knows how to bring itself back to equilibrium. That's amazing. I can't believe you got that card. So wicked. I love that you got that card. Right, let's have a look at our transformation points, okay? Now, this full moon, super moon is asking you to rewrite the narrative that you're carrying, all right? It's important. The full moon highlights outdated mental loops, not shame, but to show you no longer resonate with the self from before, the old self, okay? What doesn't work? What has to close out? What old rubbish you're still holding on to, okay? Now release the pressure to choose a side. You don't really have to do that, okay? Even if you're feeling it. With the node squaring the moon, polarities will actually surface. You do not need to move towards the past or the future in a single leap. Stay centered. Integration, not opposition, is what's going to create the breakthrough for you, all right? Now, the thing with this whole Gemini full moon, super moon is you're going to be pulled probably into rumination. Watch out for that. Rumination isn't your friend, okay? Shift from rumination to creation. What you dwell on will grow. Use this Gemini moment to redirect your mind from replaying the old towards imagining new. You got to be really careful because it can become a little bit of a playoff otherwise, and you get stuck in that something you really don't want to do. Now, let insight rise from silence because it can and it will, right? Your inner voice will be loud tonight during this full moon, super moon. Allow it to come out, give it room. Stillness will reveal what your busy mind has been talking over. Now, I'd say journalists, do not bring it out into the world and talk to others with this. Bring it out into your journal, onto the page first, and actually understand it before you make it something that is manifest and spoken about, all right? Now, end a year long of this whole year with grace, okay? This is what you're being asked to do with the Gemini full moon, super moon. You're being asked to end the year with grace. Close the chapter of 2025, a mindset, a pattern, a narrative, a way that you've been holding yourself. You're done with it. You're not going to be that person anymore. Be honest with yourself and be the new soul that has been emerging over this year-long sojourn in a way, okay? Because you do not want to be the old version of yourself. That is not going to work for you. It's not going to work for you. Now, you want to work with this supermoon. So this is about speaking your truth softly, but speaking it, but softly once you've journaled it and you've understood it. So, understanding your desires, naming what matters, putting the language to what intuition's been knocking. So you use your journal to get that first, okay? So, you can use a voice recording as well if you want. Remember that Gemini is the keeper of words. You just need to let them pour out, and they may even surprise you. Now breathe also to clear that mental fog. Gemini will bring in mental fog, mental fog, mental fog. Take long walks, put some incense on, light a candle, move as the air element shifts so the mind shifts out of any style of stagnation. And you also need to complete a project. Now, this is something that's really important, I feel, because Gemini won't be happy unless it's done this, okay? So finish it, the project, end a chapter, say something that's unsaid, close any loops, and release everything through clarity. And you also need to ask yourself a few questions, which may really help you as you move through. So here are the things that you need to ask the questions about. So question 1 is, what thought pattern is ready to dissolve? Question 2 is, what truth wants to be spoken? Question 3 is, what mental habits no longer are aligned with who you are now? Question 4, what insight is quietly rising in you right now? Question 5, if I trusted my future self, what choice would I make today? Because this is very important. You think this through so you get to the place and feel the clarity that is really deigned and meant to be for you. So this full moon wants these things for you. It wants clarity, not forced clarity, not something from mental overdrive, but the clarity that forms when truth and compassion sit right next to each other. It actually wants you to listen to your inner voice. And for some of you, maybe for the first time. It wants you to close any stories that have actually reached their natural ending. You know it anyway. It's just time you started doing it, right? This full supermoon. It also wants you to reattune your compass so that the direction you move in honors both your growth and your depth and need for safety. It also wants you to prepare for the future that is glimmering just beyond your current perception. Now let's have one final card before we close. Do I get an extra card, angels? They're saying for this reading, you can have one extra card. Normally it'll be 2, but for today, it will be 3. So let's get one more card, angels. One more card. One more card for this full moon supermoon in Gemini. There it is. It's the sun. I love that. It's beautiful that you got the sun. The sun is going to shine on what has been going on. And with that Gemini polarity with Sagittarius as the sun today, Sagittarius calls you to explore, to reinvent, to be brave, to be bold, to go to places you've never been before, and to do things you haven't done before as well. It asks you to open yourself up to new possibilities, new expansion, new horizons, new world. Be like the centaur, get your arrow, direct it to where you want to go, and take the pathway that's meant to be for you and has always been meant to be for you. Tonight, the moon speaks in the language of understanding, and all you need to do really is let it speak through you. And that, my darlings, is our Sagittarius full moon supermoon report. Namaste, everyone. Have a gorgeous full moon in Gemini. I said Sagittarius full moon report. I meant Gemini full moon report. Have a beautiful full moon in Gemini. Do check out the videos here if you're interested, and also check out any of the notes in the comments because I may have given some access to things I'm doing and a wait list information as well. Let me know how you found this new start report, and I'm sending you so much love. Mwah. Take care of yourselves. Love you all. Bye bye.